welcome. I'm here today with Dr. Tom Bertrand, who's the Executive Director of Illinois Association of School Boards. So you've had a very busy
Yes.
week and months leading up to this conference of Triple I. And how many people attend this?
You'll see in the neighborhood of 9,000
My goodness.
attendees, conference registrants, so it's very successful. And I have the tough job of showing up. The staff at IASB is tremendous and led by Carla Bolt, our meetings management director, and just an outstanding staff. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
and
it's very-
sure looks like it's going to be another successful conference. We've had great keynote speakers at our general sessions, and another one scheduled tomorrow in Darrell Scott. So we expect another great session to close it out tomorrow.
Yeah, very, very much. Well, you know, what's behind every successful organization is the vision. And it's the vision that you've outlined in the 5 E's.
Sure.
And I wonder if you could just kind of share what some of those are and maybe drill down into some specifics on some of those.
Sure.
Because that's the vision that drives everybody in the state of Illinois.
Absolutely, and in August, our board of directors adopted a 3-year strategic plan around these 5 E's of envision excellence, empower, engagement, educate, and evolve. And just a few examples under envision excellence. One of the areas where we really have worked hard is in policy services and producing quality policies to our districts in a timely manner. And it's been such a successful part of our organization that it can become a real monstrosity to manage
get it.
and to stay on top of, but our staff has just done great work there. And then we also shoot for 80% satisfaction by our membership.
My goodness.
In the area of excellence, we want 80% satisfaction with everything that we do. We also want to increase participation in the offerings that we make available to our membership. So the staff has been terrific. They've embraced the strategic plan. All of our departments have goals that are aligned to those 5 E's, and it's really just great work that they've been producing. Another area, in the area of member engagement, we have an initiative called Engage 21, where our field services staff have identified 21 school districts in our association that are not currently as active as we would like for them to be. And so extending outreach and offering some experiences to those districts to try to strengthen our relationship with them. Our communications department is in the process of reviewing proposals from prospective website developers to do a complete overhaul of the association's
Outstanding.
website to make it more user-friendly, to make it a great warehouse for resources for our members, and ultimately to improve our service to our members, and of course to integrate multimedia and all the latest technology is a real challenge too. So some exciting work that's going on. And then our equity committee of our association has just really been terrific. And these are staff members from across the departments of the association that already have full-time work, but because they believe so strongly in our work in this area of helping boards lead and monitor for equity, they have volunteered to serve on this committee and really develop some great resources and more to come in supporting school boards. It started with a webinar that we did in October for membership, then also a landing page on our website with resources for members, and they're working on some other board development opportunities in this area of equity. And I know you've talked to other folks about serving all children and the teacher shortage, and certainly the educator shortage is directly connected to issues of equity. That the districts that are the neediest serving the neediest children are the ones that face the greatest shortages of educators, and that's a real travesty, because for every child to have equal access to a quality education, it starts with a caring, connected, capable educator in the classroom. So that's certainly on our minds as well. So those are a few areas that we're working on. Of course, I know you've heard from other staff about some of the work we've done in the area of educating boards and bringing them up to speed with collective bargaining in the post-Janus environment. There's more to come there. We have 3 super region meetings, training opportunities for boards in February in collective bargaining to assist them there too. So a lot of good work going on, a lot of challenges that we've laid down for the staff, but they certainly have risen to the occasion.
Yes. Well, you know, what's fascinating to me is, you know, the vision that you've outlined is certainly powerful. but you're in a very dynamic
Absolutely.
market, if you will. There's so many
Absolutely.
issues that are changing. You have new governor, you have school safety issues,
Absolutely.
you have the driving force of technology and how it's impacting pedagogy. All of those things, and somehow you're able to get this down to some simple 5 E's.
Sure. And that's in large part why the fifth E was evolved, because as an association, particularly
Yeah.
in today's world where people tend to be less physically engaged with organizations, you have to leverage technology and other resources to keep people connected to your association. And as I've stated many times, this organization has a long history of successful service to board members, but that's no guarantee that that will continue.
Right.
And so there's always that tension between celebrating what you've done well in the past, but yet the challenge ahead.
Yeah.
And who would have guessed that, 10 years ago, who would have guessed that we would be dealing with the school security concerns that we
Right.
face today, and that we would have so many districts that are one-to-one with computers for children. And so you think about how things have changed in a decade, and that's why we as an association have to be nimble
Yeah.
and flexible to meet the needs of our members.
Well, I can sense that you have a high level of energy and optimism about the future of education.
Absolutely.
And without that, it would be a drain, of course,
Absolutely.
to try to deal with an organization of this size and that many issues. But can you at all, close your eyes and kind of predict or forecast where education might be? I'll just say 4 years from now. Do you have any idea?
It's hard. It's hard to guess because, as I've said, if you turn back the clock 5 to 10 years, how much it's changed
Yeah.
from funding to technology to school security. I do think technology will continue to change the landscape of education.
Very much so.
And the reality is, school 4 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, schools are going to look differently than they do today. Much more personalized learning for kids to make sure that we're meeting every child's needs. I think you're also going to see districts doing a better job of really monitoring equity to make sure that all children, regardless of their learning characteristics, have an opportunity to be successful and the supports that they need to be successful. And that's an area I've seen growth in already across the state. Part of our initiative in the area of equity is to better support our school boards to lead and monitor for equity.
Well, looks like change is going to be the only constant
Absolutely.
when it comes to education. And when you look at change and you ask your staff, not your staff, but teachers out there about change, it's concerning. People find it not very comfortable to deal with change.
Absolutely.
And there's always failures along the way. I use the word pivot. You go as far as you can, and something doesn't work, you pivot
Sure.
and keep moving forward. Where do you think the staff overall and teachers across the state are in looking forward to change? Because most people don't look forward to change.
And a lot of the leadership literature on change talks about level 1 and level 2
Yes.
change. And the fact of the matter is, the degree of magnitude of change is in the eyes of those affected by it.
That is
So a
true.
lot of times leaders are not tuned into when they are proposing a change. They perceive it as a level 1 change, when in fact for the teachers it's level 2.
Yeah.
And that disconnect will
Yeah.
lead to failure.
Yes.
And so I think it's really important to give voice to your staff
Uh-huh.
as a leader and to keep those communication lines open so that some people fear failure.
Yes.
And change can represent that. You're telling me that the skills that got me to where I am today will no longer serve me in the future.
Absolutely.
And so we have to help you feel better about the newly acquired skills
Yes.
before we just drop an expectation on you. And I
Yes.
think that's where you get a lot of pushback with change, is when it's truly a level 2 change, big magnitude, but yet the leaders don't get that. It's level 1 for the leader, but it's level 2 for everybody
That's
that's
right.
expected to carry it out.
That's right. I use the term kaleidoscope.
Absolutely.
Because everybody sees it differently from their own vantage point. If you're a single mom with 3 kids and all of a sudden practical arts is changing.
And I know as a superintendent and even a principal before that, I always had staff members who I knew would give me the truth
Yeah.
when I needed feedback
Very good.
about a change. And you go to those folks and you get from them the direct lines of communication of how the initiative is going, so you know if I need to roll it back, if I need to do more training, or if we're just not quite ready for it. And I just think that's really important. I think a lot of folks lose sight. Sometimes leaders get excited, just like I was excited
Yeah.
about the 5 E's.
Yeah.
But I also had to sell it to the staff.
Yeah.
Because they have to carry it out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that brings my next comment. You're in a state that's very large.
Absolutely. It's
Last heard I was about 1.9 million students.
approximate. Right?
And how do you stay connected in your role so that you can always have that ongoing feedback and allow your skills to then, your intuition then to take over? Because you are an educator.
Sure.
You've been in the classroom.
Sure.
You've been a coach. You've been a principal.
Sure.
So you can relate to everyone. So how do you stay relevant?
I think what has helped is the fact that our board of directors is elected from each of the 21 divisions from across the state.
I
So it's a
see.
diverse group.
Uh-huh.
But also we have fall and spring division meetings across the state where each of the 21 divisions have meetings of their membership.
Uh-huh.
And I will try to get to all 21 divisions before the year is out.
My
And
gosh.
sometimes that doesn't always work, but
Yeah.
definitely within a 2-year cycle, I will
Uh-huh.
have been to every division, and that's important
Uh-huh.
because that's a real opportunity for you to get out and talk to board members who you otherwise might not hear from.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're at activities like this with the Joint Annual Conference, there's an opportunity to get some direct feedback from the membership there as well.
Right.
And I tell our staff, we have to constantly dip the stick to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that we're meeting the needs of our members, because the fact is, we exist to serve our members,
Mm-hmm.
and they are constantly asking us the questions of, what value do I get for the membership dues that I pay? And we have to be able to demonstrate that.